Welcome to another video here to explain the difference between Aave good proposals and bad proposals. So as you've seen in this video series, we can have very different types of proposals on the Aave protocol where people vote on. And as anything in life, there can be really good proposals and really bad proposals. And as you can see here on Aave governance webpage, in order to access, just make sure you go to app.aave.com/governance. And then you can see this page and then connect to your wallet, so you can initiate voting and play with your dashboard here. But here you can see under the filter, you can see all the proposals that have been voted on, passed or failed, that either reached the quorum or the differential, and some that failed, the date, and so on. And how many yays and nays you got. And what defines a proposal as good or bad? Here we can see some proposals that have failed and some that were almost like 50-50, like for example this one, supply borrow cap updates feature on our return. And we can go and take a look. There's a lot of factors that go into what makes a good proposal or a bad proposal, or sometimes these ones that sort of splits the community in 50-50, and this was really tight, 53% nays. But what defines a proposal as a good proposal is, let's say, the clarity and the purpose. Let's say if the proposal is clear and well structured and has a defined purpose, and this one for sure has, and people can understand that. And what makes a bad proposal is, of course, lack of clarity and very clear and vague intentions. And for those, I'm sure we can see some examples here where it's probably just a 100% nay. Maybe this one exemplifies that, or something that completely doesn't make any sense. But also you have to look at the impact and benefits. A good proposal offers tangible benefits and positive impacts on the community, the project, or the system that aims to improve. And the bad proposal, of course, has limited and unclear benefits, or even worse, it could long-term create adverse effects to the community or the project. Another point is the feasibility and the implementation. We have to ask ourselves if this is a good proposal, is feasible and practical to implement, and what's the time frame. We have to consider the technical aspects, economical, logistics, and also providing a realistic plan to execute. And it's important to see that in the proposal here, we actually can see the implementation and how they plan on implementing on the code changes. So that's pretty interesting. And we can even see more here that have failed. But another very important part, and also it's the community support. We want to check out on Twitter or on socials what the community thinks. Like, we need to have a proposal to be good, you need to gain significant support from the community and stakeholders. So it demonstrates there is consensus for any proposed changes and so on, right? If people come here and vote, freeze age euro on Aave, like they want to freeze pegged euro stablecoin. Let's see, even if age euro collateral doesn't seem threatened by the loss of Midas protocol exploit. If you're not familiar with Midas protocol, this was a DeFi sort of lending platform that you could just leave your tokens there and lend and then shut down. It is important for the community to decide if freezing should be executed or caution. So this got like 99% nay. I think this was sort of against the standards of the community. Like, why would you... if it's freezing should be executed, why would you want to freeze the assets of someone else that's here on the platform? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But someone just posted that on here, and of course he got 477 nay of voting power. I think is very clear, and that's a good example of what we just discussed. That it's a bad proposal if there's the lack of community support. And this really makes a good example. Another very important point is the risk and mitigations. A good proposal acknowledges the potential risks and proposes appropriate mitigations to minimize negative consequences. Something that this doesn't have. How could we minimize this in the future if a plant shuts down or there is an exploit or something? It doesn't. It's very short and it's not descriptive at all, and it sort of ignores the risks or the potential problems that can happen down the line. Another good point is in terms of transparency and accountability. You want a good proposal to be transparent, to provide all the relevant information. Like this is a good example where you can see all the relevant information here. There is even the specifics. It provides references. And I have even seen more detail than this. Here you can see like it was 100% passed. It made sense for the community. It's easy, yay. But a lot of bad proposals oftentimes lack the transparency, and hide important details. And it can even evade the standards of the community and decentralization. So we always need to be on the lookout. And the last one I would say is the long-term sustainability. A good proposal considers the long-term sustainability of the ecosystem. We want to make sure the project and the implications are behind the immediate implementation. And the bad one just might focus on the short-term gains and even individual gains of the person that's proposing the proposal or proposing these changes. So we always need to take this into consideration. And I think in the long term, it's all about the project's stability and the growth in the future that benefits the overall community. So overall, a good proposal enhances the project and gains broad support and aligns the project values and goals. And on the other end, a bad proposal has negative consequences, lack of support, lack of transparency, and can be inconsistent with the roadmap and the project vision for the long run. So I would say there's these really 7 key importance takeaways that make a good proposal or bad proposal, which is the clarity and purpose, impact and benefits, the feasibility and implementation, the community support, alignment with project values and goals, risks and mitigations, transparency and accountability, long-term sustainability. And those are key factors we should always keep in mind when going and voting, or even when we delegate our voting power to someone else that goes and votes for us, because we might not have time, or we might just want to give the voting power to an organization that we trust, like certain nonprofits in the space, or certain collegiate affiliations or clubs. There's a lot out there. But that's pretty much it. And I would say a good example of a bad proposal, if people ask, like a terrible proposal, for example, it would be unlimited borrowing, like proposal that suggests removing the borrowing limits for users on the Aave protocol, allowing them to borrow as much as they want without any restrictions. And this will be a bad proposal because it causes systematic risk. There'll be security concerns, economic imbalance. Let's say without limits, few large borrowers could completely dominate the protocol, causing the concentration of all the borrowing power and disrupting the decentralization of Aave. And there's an incentive misalignment, right? The proposal assumes that more borrowing automatically leads to more demand for the Aave token, which might not necessarily cause. And then this could also cause network congestion and overuse. So removing the borrowing limits might seem like attractive at first, but it could introduce really significant risks for the whole ecosystem and imbalancements. And I think this will be an example of a bad proposal. And I'm not sure if anyone ever proposed this, but it's something to take into account if that ever is proposed. Fill out below in the comments if you actually, what are your thoughts on that proposal, and let us know if you have any questions, and see you on the comments or on BenLearn. Bye.